YouTube, what's going on today, man? Listen, good morning, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about something a little bit more serious. Basically, a huge deal just went down, man. Ceasefire in Gaza. We've talked about this in a previous video. Everything going on over there between the Israelis and the Palestinians. This is a war, as you guys know, that has been going on forever. I mean, literally forever. But on a positive note, what has just happened seems to be a big step in the right direction. And I don't want to give the big man all the credit, but I'm just saying. Seems like there's a domino effect here, man. If you guys like today's YouTube video, don't forget to like the video, man. And let's try to keep it positive in the comments. Believe me, I know it can get a little crazy. You guys can have constructive criticism. You can have discourse. There can be a little debatism. But for the love of God, keep it respectful. Por favor. Enjoy the video. I'll see you guys in there. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace and love, gang. Good morning, chat. Okay, I will not be chewing gum. Relax, man. Gary has informed me that many of you are upset with me.
This literally just happened an hour ago. Bro said this ceasefire is epic.
My bad. Donald Trump said that?
This is a massive deal, weeks in the making, Alex.
It certainly is, if not longer, Pam. We have been waiting for more than 13 months since the last ceasefire deal and since the last time there was an exchange of hostages and prisoners for this moment. It appears that this deal is imminent, if not done already. We're reporting that Hamas has agreed to the deal. There was certainly an expectation from the Israeli side that they would agree to a deal. All of this, of course, brokered after intensive negotiations with the mediators, the United States, Qatar, and Egypt.
I mean, this is actually such a good thing.
Right.
I think people have wanted. I mean, like, really, this is amazing. I mean, whether it was Biden or Trump or whoever, this is.
I don't even know why he would say whether it was Biden. Biden can't even spell his name. It definitely wasn't Biden.
This is a great thing.
So this is obviously extremely welcome news after some 14 months of fighting. And what we expect to happen, if indeed this deal goes into effect, is that over the course of some 6 weeks, we would see more than 30 Israeli hostages released by Hamas and other groups who are holding them in Gaza.
I don't really know if this is true or not because I don't have enough information about it. But the people that are probably going to say that it's because of Trump would probably use the example. I think that there were hostages with Jimmy Carter. And then when Reagan won the election, the hostages were immediately returned. So people are probably going to liken this situation to the time with Reagan and Jimmy Carter.
Right.
And I think that they're going to think that basically Trump is going to come in there and they're worried about just getting completely carpet bombed and just getting annihilated, because I think that there's a good chance Trump would probably do that.
I think that the point here, Pam, is that after weeks of feverish work on the U.S. side with both Biden administration officials and officials from the incoming Trump team working in coordination with each other, they and the other mediators have managed to get the Israelis and Hamas, it appears, across the finish line where we are going to get a truce, a pause in this fighting. One thing I really want to emphasize is this does not mean the end of this war.
Right.
This means a break in this war. Hopefully this break will last at least 6 weeks.
I don't mean to laugh. Yeah, I probably shouldn't laugh at all. I mean, it's not funny, but it's just mind-blowing how long this has been going on, man. It's crazy. You'd think after thousands of years that there would be some sort of conclusion, but nope. I'm just going to continue on, man. You know, I hope and I pray that those days are over, man.
If not longer, hopefully all of these people will come home who are supposed to come home. But there are big questions about what would happen after this first phase of a ceasefire, which, as it stands now, and this plan has been in place for quite some time since President Biden laid it out in May. This is expected to.
Somebody says, especially after Pete Hegseth said in his confirmation that he wants to kill every member of Hamas. Yeah, I mean, like, it's impossible to know whether that was a factor. And I think that it's unfair to say that it definitely was. But I would tell you this, that if I was in charge of Hamas and I saw these two crazy fucks that are about to be in charge, and they have nuclear weapons and like fucking, faster than the speed of sound jets and infinite bombs that are saying that we're going to kill every single one of you, I would be more willing to negotiate.
Right. That is true. It's crazy, but
هذه الساعات بنستناها من سنة وسنة ونص. احنا بنعيش اللحظات هذه قاعدين ما حدش بيحس بالشعور اللي احنا عايشين فيه.
طب ايش شعورك لحظة اعلان وقفة الاطلاق؟
شعور لا يوصف، شعور لا يوصف. بدي اروح اجسد، بدي اروح على الشجاعية حبلاكي. شجاعية شجاعية شجاعية.
I mean, like, in my opinion,
Wow.
I'll say it. I think Trump's a fucking psychopath. I do. I think that he would bomb them and he would not give a fuck about how many innocent people got killed or anything.
he's not a psychopath, man. It's just at the end of the day, like, great power comes great responsibility. And I'm not saying go bomb a bunch of people, but like, bro, what's going on over there is insane. It's just insane. It's been going on forever, you know? And I mean, dude, as soon as Biden took office, everything went to shit. Right when it happened, man, you know? Now that Trump's getting ready to go back to work, as he should, everybody's starting to chill out. Everybody, okay, hold on. You know, we got a guy in there that actually might do something about something. We got to act right. I don't see any problem with that.
He would legitimately fucking kill all of them. I think that's what he would do. And I think that they're worried, and I think they know that. And also, it's probably not a guarantee, but it's like, would you want to take the risk of that?
Congratulations. This is a huge moment. You, as you say, have been working on this deal for many months. And the question is, why now? Why this moment? And was it pressure from the incoming Trump administration that got it over the line?
We've been raising the question of the right moment for the entire period since the collapse of the first phase. But we have seen a momentum that started to build in the last month, and we kept pushing for that.
Momentum in the last month. I mean, I'm just putting two and two together, you know?
Working together very closely with our partners. And I can say that what we have seen from the U.S. in the past few days, a collaboration transcending both administration, was a clear demonstration for the commitment of the U.S. to reach to that deal, and they played a vital role in reaching to this moment.
They are as close as they have ever been since they started negotiating this deal, which would begin with phase one and a 6-week ceasefire, during which Hamas would release 33 Israeli hostages, women, children, elderly, and or the wounded, including 5 female soldiers.
God, war is just insane, man. What a just wild concept. And then to just be completely on the other side as this is going on is even crazier. It's just so weird, isn't it? Weird feeling.
Israel would release nearly 1,000 Palestinian detainees, 30 detainees for every civilian hostage that Hamas releases, 50 for every single soldier hostage that Hamas releases. And then Israel would also facilitate the arrival of 600 humanitarian aid trucks every day. The UN said that number today was 70, and Israeli forces would leave populated areas. And let me show you how that leaving of populated areas would work on the map. Israel would leave the corridor, the Netzarim corridor, you see that in purple, that splits Gaza in two, but would remain on the edges of Gaza, including the Philadelphia corridor that separates Gaza from Egypt. Now, Jeff, how close are they? A regional official told me today that Hamas actually accepted the deal, but they were still working on, quote, the map. Officials tell me are these, that where exactly, literally to the meter, that Israeli forces will be deployed along the border of Gaza, and also the names and the sequencing of the Palestinian detainees, many hundreds of which are convicted of terrorism and face life sentences.
President-elect Trump is taking credit for the ceasefire and hostage deal in the Middle East. He says the agreement only could have happened as a result.
This epic ceasefire agreement could have only happened as a result of our historic victory in November. As a signal to the entire world that my administration will seek peace and negotiate deals to ensure the safety of all Americans and our allies. I am thrilled American and Israeli hostages will be returning home to be reunited with their families and loved ones.
Of his win in November.
And yeah, they worked hand in hand. As soon as Trump was declared the winner of the 2024 election, his designated Middle East envoy, Stephen Wickoff, was brought into the fold, was kept abreast of what was going on in the negotiations, and eventually he began to participate in the negotiations himself, even traveling to the Middle East to meet with the Israeli prime minister. You can understand why, from the Biden team's perspective, they would want to get buy-in from the Trump team. There are so many examples throughout history of diplomatic negotiations falling apart because one side of the deal said, you know, if we just wait you out, maybe the next administration will have a deal that's more favorable for us. They decided to handle this as a unit. Wickoff, who doesn't have any diplomatic background, he has done a lot of real estate deals. He's a businessman. He's very close to Donald Trump. They golf together, sort of a hard-nosed negotiator, got involved. And so I do think that when you look at the situation and the fact that this is a deal that was more or less out there on the table, right for the picking for the better part of a year, the fact that it is getting done now is a sign that at the very least, the leaders of both Israel and Hamas were aware of where the next president wanted this to go and what he might possibly do if they didn't sign on the dotted line.
Okay.
Because
I mean,
at long
it makes
last,
sense, I guess.
I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas. More than 15 months of conflict.
This guy, man.
Began with Hezbollah's brutal massacre on October the 7th. More than 15 months of terror for the hostages, their families, the Israeli people. More than 15 months of suffering by the innocent people of Gaza. Fighting in Gaza will stop, and soon the hostages will return home to their families. Today, Hamas and Israel have agreed to that ceasefire agreement and the whole ending the war. You know, those of you who have followed the negotiations can attest, the road to this deal has not been easy. I've worked in foreign policy for decades. This is one of the toughest negotiations I've ever experienced. With nowhere to turn, Hamas finally agreed to releasing hostages. You know, there was no other way for this war to end than with a hostage deal. And I'm deeply satisfied this day has finally come, for the sake of the people of Israel and the families waiting in agony. I knew this deal would have to be implemented by the next team, so I told my team to coordinate closely with the incoming team to make sure we're all speaking with the same voice, because that's what American presidents do.
Oh.
Thank you.
This guy's not real.
Is that a joke? Oh.
No.
Thank you.
Jeez, man. Jeez.